Time Out with Tim O.
Open up your mind and let me in. Open up your mind and let me in. Open up your mind and let me in.
Hello, welcome to Time Out with Timo. I'm your host, Tim Owens. As always, very grateful to be here today. Glad to be back for the camera doing my thing on this beautiful, bright, blue, sunny day outside. Now, today's video is going to be about hate, haters, any variation of the word hate, or anything to do with hate. We're going to talk about it. Some people don't believe haters can affect you. There's a lot of quotes and sayings out here. Don't let haters affect your dreams. Don't let haters stop you. I'm going to be real with you. Haters can cause you a lot of problems, lots of them, especially if they're in a position to block an opportunity for you. They will do it. So I'm going to share some personal stories, but let's start off by talking about the word hate. Let me get the definition here. See, as you guys know, I don't like to just talk out of my rear end. I like to give some actual definitions. So, what is hate? Feel intense or passionate dislike for someone. So, to feel intense or passionate dislike for someone. Why? Why do we hate? Why do we hate someone else? Why do we hate on someone else? Especially if their dreams and aspirations that you want to achieve. So let me go here. Yeah, I'm going to jump around the bend a little bit today, folks. I may have a video to add to this later on, but I'm not really sure. But now it's going to be some talking, some dialogue, some back and forth. Hopefully, you guys give me some comments. We can go back and forth. Just email me. A lot of times people will email me something, or they'll hit me on Messenger or whatever, and I'll kind of comment that way too. That's all good. It's all fine. So let me go to the next one here. Read a couple of quotes. Haters will say what they want, but their hate will never stop you from chasing your dreams. Insecure people put others down to raise themselves up. Hate is too great a burden to bear. It endures the hater more than it injures the hated. Just, it all sounds good. It sounds good until you're sitting across the table from someone who has the keys to your next opportunity in their hand. But the fact that they're hating on you, they don't give them to you. It happens every day. Do you know a lot of people will be a lot farther on in life if other people quit hating on them? I mean, I'm serious. So let me jump over here and we're trying to get some more understanding of what this is about. So here's one here. Okay. So from what I read here, there are a lot of people that are haters. It stems from jealousy, first off. Because if you really think about it, on the internet, a lot of the celebrities and people that regular folk talk about constantly, any one of them would trade to be in that person's position. So it starts with jealousy, first off. Because if you notice, people that are bad at things, people that are horrible at things, nobody really says anything about them. It's always people that are good. Now, if someone's terrible at something, they'll watch, they'll laugh, but it doesn't make them feel the same way as they do when they watch someone who's good at something. One thing I've experienced when it comes to that, right? When I used to do stand-up comedy years ago, a lot of fun, met a lot of people out doing my thing, right? People would say stuff to me like, yeah, he's not funny, blah, blah, blah. So then they'll see some video and they still would hate regardless. So since when did video evidence is not good enough to prove that a person is good at what they do, right? Another one I used to get back in Illinois, right? There's a comedy club called Zanies in Chicago. And Zanies is one of the popular clubs in the city. Actually, is one of the touring comedy clubs where any comic that comes to Chicago, they perform at Zanies. Now, I was doing stand-up for about 2 years, right? And I never performed at Zanies. I never went there. Now, me being me, I had this chip on my shoulder. I was like, well, I don't have to go to Zanies to prove that I'm good at what I do. So I kind of had that thing. So people would come to shows that I would produce. They would say things like, hey, have you performed at Zanies? And I was like, no, I haven't. Oh, well, he's no one because he didn't perform at Zanies. That's what they used to say. So after 2 years, a good friend of mine said, hey, man, you need to go to Zanies, do the Rising Star Showcase. It was on a Monday night show to go and perform for newcomers in the comedy. So after 2 years, I went ahead and did it, right? So I had done a 5-minute set, knocked it out the park. Great set. No profanity, none of that. But I killed it. Great set. Posted that set on YouTube, right? People in the crowd laughing, having a good time. I mean, it was great. So after that, when I started doing shows, people started saying, "Hey, have you done Zanies?" I said, "Oh, yes, I have done Zanies. Great time. It's a good club. Had a great set. It's actually online if you want to look at it." Then it changed to, "Oh, just because you've done Zanies, that don't mean you're anything. That don't mean anything." First, it was I was nobody because I hadn't performed the Zanies. Then when I performed the Zanies, I was still nobody because I performed the Zanies. It didn't mean anything. You see how the haters flip flop, how they go back and forth. So I come to realize that it doesn't matter. Yeah, they can affect you, but at the same time, you have to just. That's where my faith comes into play. Again, just trust that. Hey, you know what? A lot of those people that are hating, they're not meant to be followers of yours anyway. So the people that are meant to follow you, people that are meant to be a part of what you have going on, they are going to be. They are going to come along, right? It takes a little while. It takes time. Another one, right? So I've been on people. I bring people on my shows. I've hosted a couple of shows on 2 different networks. I did some independent work, right? So I bring people on my show, but they would have a program. They wouldn't bring me on that program, even though I would do theirs. And I'm like, what is this all about? So a friend of mine recognized and told me, "Say this is what I think it is. If you go on their program and you shine and bring some attention and you do a great job on their show, they're too insecure to accept that. But you, on the other hand, you're not insecure, man. You're not jealous. You're not a hater. You don't care. You want to see other people shine. What people don't realize is that when you're the kind of person that wants to see other people shine, you should take pride in that. Like take pride in helping someone get to the next level. Take your ego out of the way. It doesn't matter because if they're a good person or they're a moral person, they're gonna look out for you anyway. It's better to take the chance on helping somebody succeed than to hate. Like it doesn't make sense. Like the hate. I have people that I've worked side by side with, right, years ago, and they don't even talk to me today, all because they think that by talking to me or watching my content or sharing anything that I post or subscribing to my channel is somehow going to elevate me to a point to where it's really going to just make them even more angry. It's weird. It's such a weird thing, right? So let's get to this really quick, all right? Because I told you I'm jumping around the barn today, but it's just so much. This topic is one that's just passionate me because I've dealt with it my entire life. That's why. So some of this has to do with a person having a superiority complex. So basically, when someone thinks they're better than you anyhow, but they're not able to achieve what you're able to achieve, it makes them upset. It makes them look at themselves a different kind of way. So let's jump into this really quick. What is a superiority complex? So a superiority complex is behavior that suggests a person believes they're somehow superior to others. While not an official diagnosis, symptoms can occur with some conditions. People with this complex often have exaggerated opinions of themselves. They believe their abilities and achievements surpass those of others. However, a superiority complex may actually be hiding low self-esteem or a sense of inferiority. Now, let me stop right there for a second. 100% correct. See, a person who thinks that they are better than you, I had one happen to me, right? Years ago, I was doing some film work, shooting independent film, just kind of doing my thing, right? So I did not go to school for film, but I just have an eye for it. I love movies. I have a passion for it. So there was another guy. He was a professional video guy. He actually taught some courses or something or whatever, right? So he watched some work that I'd done. He wanted to critique everything. Oh, the sound and this, and there's a shadow, blah, blah, blah. Other people watch work that I did and say, hey, man, some of the things you did is actually better than what that guy did. It bothered him because he felt like he was better than me. Who is this guy? He doesn't know anything about, I have this credential, blah, 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 blah. True. That's where that superiority complex come in. People who think they're superior to you, they'll have this thing to where they'll deal with you, but deep down, they feel like you're beneath them. And it comes out and it infuriates them when you do things better than when they do, 100%. So, however, a superiority complex may be actually, like I said, having low self-esteem. Psychologist Alfred Adler first described the superiority complex in the early 20th century. He outlined that the complex is really a defense mechanism for feelings of inadequacy that we all struggle with. In short, people with a superiority complex frequently have boastful attitudes to people around them, but these are merely to cover up feelings of failure or shortcoming. How to tell if someone has a superiority complex. The symptoms of superiority complex may include high valuations of self-worth, boastful claims that are not backed up by reality, attention to appearance or vanity, overly high opinion of oneself, a self-image of supremacy or authority, unwillingness to listen to others, overcompensation for sensitive elements of life, mood swings often made worse by contradiction from another person, underlying low self-esteem or feelings of inferiority. Now you see that? So a lot of people hate because they feel inferior to you. So let's say, for an example, right? You and this person the same age, same accomplishments in life, whatever. You guys kind of along the same, path, right? But all of a sudden, you guys share this love of music. All of a sudden, you pick up a guitar, and you're just a natural. You just start playing, some keys. Some chords with the guitar. So then you take lessons, and then you really become good. I'm really enjoying this. Now, this person that you're equal to, they've always wanted to do that, but they were always too afraid to take that chance or to even pick up a guitar. But the fact that you did it, it made them feel inferior and less of themselves. So you think they can say, "Oh man, great job. I'd like to see you playing the guitar." Let's say you even go further than that. You become really good. You start doing gigs. You start writing music. This person begins to feel more hate towards you because of the fact you're doing something that they were afraid to do. You're doing something that they wanted to do, but they didn't. So instead of saying, "Hey man, where did you get your lessons? How about I take some lessons? How about I become a part of that? What gave you the courage to step out there to do what you really wanted to do?" They can't do that. They just hate. They just hate on you, man. It's ridiculous. So these are some other things to look for, right? So you may believe that you spot some of these symptoms in another person. They can be easy to identify, especially after a long relationship. But matching these symptoms to the complex itself is not easy. Many of these symptoms can also be caused by several other conditions. These include narcissistic personality disorder, which I've talked about that, bipolar disorder. I haven't gotten to that one, but I did talk about narcissistic personality disorder. A mental health professional, such as a psychiatrist or psychologist, may be able to see beneath, the symptoms of the real issue. That is often a low self-esteem or sense of inferiority. If that is discovered, a superiority complex becomes distinct from the other possible issues. So, yeah, like I said earlier, haters, they can't block you, man. They can't stop you. I mean, they really can. But you just have to remain strong. Try to surround yourself with good people who aren't haters. Let me tell you some examples of people that I've seen. If you see a person that's successful, happy, down to earth, not really being super flashy, not very superficial, not trying to just show off and be this person who wants to be seen by everyone, that's the kind of person you want to gravitate towards. Someone that's pretty well off in their life, comfortable, they're happy. Or someone who has a high position in their company or they have their own company, but they're approachable. They don't mind sharing how they made their moves, how they got to the next step. These are the kind of people that you want to meet, the type of people you want to network with. The Instagram, Facebook, boastful, show off people who brag about every little thing, show off, you want to stay away from them. Because the minute you start to succeed, they're going to start hating. Hate. Let me think. If there's any more hater stories that I want to share before. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I was in Iowa, right? Lived there briefly. I had a deal to do a show on this network out there, right? I know, kind of a random place to be, right? Anyhow, there was me and the station manager. I met this guy. We had a great meeting. He was an older gentleman, probably in his, I say 50s, late 50s, early 60s. Been in media for years. So him and I met. We went to lunch. We had a meeting at the station. Everybody was in there. His assistant, secretary, his assistant manager of the network was in there, right? So we had all these plans. He said everything was great. Everything was awesome. So he was like, yeah, we'd be ready to go with everything. He said, get with my assistant manager, partner with him. You guys can get the ball rolling, such. Fine. So what happened with that deal was this guy had been there for about 4 years, right? He hadn't developed any programs that were worth a quarter. The shows that he had were really bad. No talent. He was just horrible at his job. So when I came in with these fresh ideas and different things I want to do with the show and guests and music and that, every time I contact this guy, oh, I got this going on tomorrow. Oh, well, Thursday won't work. Oh, Saturday I'm this. This guy purposely played busy, like he had so much to do and we didn't have time. Oh, we got to connect and this and that. But he never wanted to. So this guy literally blocked me having a show on his network because he pretended to be busy. He was hating. He didn't want me to come in as an outsider with these fresh and bright ideas and make him look bad. So he literally blocked my show because he didn't want to look bad by not having any ideas or accomplishing anything in 4 years. Instead of partnering with me and say, hey man, this is okay. We can do this. We can do that. No, he chose to go the opposite way and hate on me and block me out. Absolutely. I've dealt with that a few times. Let me think. Is there another one that I know that one. That one was a big one that bothered me for a little bit. But however, enough of that. I can go on and on. So if you guys want to take some time, do some research about haters, hating, whether or not you're in a position in your life so we can help someone. If you're in a position to help somebody, help them, man. Help them. It's not going to hurt you to help somebody. I'm not saying give people money and this and that. That's what I'm talking about. But sharing a person's content, telling them good job if it's good, asking them how can you be a part of that, asking them what can you do to support. It's not about money all the time. Sometimes it's about opportunity and access. You may know somebody who's looking for what this person offers. Growing up, my father was not a hater at all. If you told my dad, let's say if you were a bus driver, but you say you were moonlighted as a plumber, my dad would put you to work. I guess because I was raised with a father who, when people had other skills besides the one that he knew about, he utilized them. Oh, you can do carpentry work? Oh, come over here Saturday. I got something for you. I guess it's a part of the way I'm that way because of how I grew up by having a dad who taught you to support other people. But anyhow, enough for that. Do your research, buy some hating on your own. I have other stories about other things that I'll get into another time. But however, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. Go ahead and hit that like for me so it can be shared around a little bit more. And don't forget to subscribe. As always, thank you for watching. Happy people do not cause problems. Peace.
If everybody winning, who's losing? Man, who's losing? I'm trying to make it make sense. It's like it's so confused. I see the pain in your eyes from all the lonely nights. I swear I know how I feel. It just don't feel right.